Welcome to Hypnosis Today, the nation's first web TV talk show that explores the fascinating world of hypnotherapy. My name is Lisa Mackenberg, and I'll be your host, covering a wide variety of subjects to help you understand the power of the subconscious mind and how hypnosis is being used today to help people achieve success, happiness, and prosperity. It is my pleasure to introduce my two very special guests. Well, my first guest is Ty Johnston. Now, Ty is a graduate of HMI College of Hypnotherapy. She is also the creator of Dance Therapy, which is a combination of dance and hypnotherapy, which she teaches at Cirque du Soleil in Los Angeles, California. And she has with her her very special client, whose name is Erin. Erin is a young mother of two, but she came in to visit Ty for insomnia. Please help me welcome my guests. Now, Erin, I'm going to start with you. You know, insomnia can have all kinds of different causes. Why did you come to see a hypnotherapist of all the different specialties that you could pursue?
I'd come to the point where I'm able to sleep. My children are a little bit older, but now I have become the problem, which is interfering with my sleep, my mind, my thoughts at night. I'd heard a lot about hypnotherapy. I've had a few friends who have gone through it with Ty, and I'd heard positive things about it, that it's very non-invasive, very personal, it can be spiritual, so I thought that I would try it out.
So I love it. So you knew about hypnotherapy, and I like it when it comes with a personal recommendation.
Yes.
So your friends had gone to her, had gotten good results, and you decided you wanted to go too. So, you know, it's really interesting because I have 3 children. And as soon as they started to sleep, I stopped.
Yeah.
I was no longer up every 2 hours to feed somebody, and yet my mind was racing too. Do you remember at all what was on your mind during those times when they were sleeping but you were not?
Yeah, well, it's often just that, you know, I've just come to terms with it being able to start helping it, but just the worries of everyday life, going over things that have already happened, things that may happen, you know, just sitting, thinking about ridiculous things that are meaningless and pointless and have no you know, outcome from me staying awake all night.
Sure.
But it's the only time that I would lay down and have the quiet, and my mind would just wander and wander.
Sure.
But I hadn't even realized that it was a big problem until we worked through it.
I hear you. And with the insomnia, what were your symptoms, not just sleeping through the night, but did it affect you the next day?
Yeah, well, I would give myself a bedtime and go to bed, and then I would know that I would be up for an hour or so trying to get to sleep and worrying about not being able to sleep. So then I would be pushing myself to stay up later and later, which would end up, you know, making me lose even more sleep. And I still have to get up in the morning. So I'd be tired, grouchy, you know, have a short temper. Everyone was suffering from it, my whole family, really.
You know what they say? Those who live with the afflicted also suffer.
Yeah,
That's what they say
absolutely.
about
Yeah.
insomnia.
Yeah.
Yes. And so this hamster wheel and worrying about not being able to
Exactly.
sleep, that'll also stop you from sleeping,
Yeah,
am I right?
it's a vicious cycle.
So, Ty, tell me a little bit about what you did in hypnosis. Did you use a specific induction for insomnia?
Well, in our first session in person, we did a finger spread conversion into a progressive relaxation just to get her very calm and relaxed, but staying light enough that she wouldn't go into amnesia right away. She's the somnambulist, so we had to be very, very careful.
That's a very interesting point, Ty, that you didn't want her to go so deep that she had amnesia because she's a somnambulist. So now I have to go back to you, Erin. What was your first session like?
I didn't know what to expect going into it, but it was very relaxing. I very, very quickly fell into a very relaxed state. I was reclined and had my eyes closed, and we were kind of doing a guided meditation, and I was just very relaxed, very content, very open-minded, but still alert, still knew what was going on.
So you hit your mark. So I'd like to hear about that guided meditation, Ty. What did you do?
Well, for insomnia, I created a 3-step process. The strategy is to first identify what's blocking her from sleeping, and then we go into really prioritizing what's important. That allows us in the 3rd step to restructure our day. Step 2 is to create a 5-step ritual, the bedtime ritual that she will follow. She sets the bedtime, she sets the activities such as teeth brushing, vitamin taking, kissing the kids goodnight, and then goes into the day of restructuring. In the 2nd session, we go ahead and allow her to creatively visualize herself taking those steps. So it cements in the positive suggestions.
Now here, Erin, what was keeping you awake? What did you discover during this process?
I would distract myself with little things to delay going to bed, other than just the rambling in my mind beforehand. In my ritual, I would find things to distract myself, you know, things around the house that I needed to quickly do, which would lead to, you know, a half hour wasted, and then me worrying about getting to bed, and then the whole cycle just, you know, going on and on.
So it started to just perpetuate itself. So it sounds to me like you weren't taking as good care of yourself as you were taking care of the children. Did you find that too?
Yes, we did touch on self-nurturing, really delving into the ability to take care of oneself, looking at what the results of that are, what that looks like, what it feels like. And we touched a lot on the digital overconsumption, so really losing a lot of time in the internet, things of that nature. That's very common nowadays.
You know, a lot of times I see that electronic devices, we are their servants. They're no longer our servants. Did you find that true?
Yeah, and I even try to stay clear of that generally. You know, I don't have a smartphone, but still I would find myself wandering to the computer late in the evening because that would be my time. But we came to realize it was just a waste, you know, and a stalling technique of my own.
What was your bedtime ritual that you established with Ty now that you had this type of discovery?
I would have the time, 10:30. You know, I would do my normal ritual, brushing my teeth, taking my prenatal, checking my children, taking my earrings off, and then going directly to bed.
So
without
association.
wondering. Yeah.
Let's dive into the third step. What is that?
The affirmation. Many clients very positively respond to digital or audio suggestions. Other people do not necessarily want to fall asleep to the sound of my voice. Especially with emotional clients, I really like to give them a tool that allows them to have self-control over their own healing process. With Erin, we created an affirmation that she journals at night, tapping into her ideomotor response. And that way it's very empowering for her. She's controlling the process of her healing. Her chosen self-created affirmation is, I respect and honor my sleep. So she's controlling the process, she does the affirmation, and then for her it's lights out.
How long ago did you have this hypnosis?
Last week.
And have you been using your affirmations every night?
I have. Surprisingly, I've found myself doing a lot of things out of our session that I didn't even necessarily think I'd take on.
Well, I'm going to go in order. So the first thing I want to ask is, are you doing your affirmations and putting yourself to bed at 10:30?
I am. Yeah, surprisingly.
And how does that turn off the chatter in the mind?
I've been falling asleep, honestly, right away. Like last night I went to bed, I kind of thought, should I pick up my book, try to read myself to sleep? And then I just thought, I'll just lay my head down, and that's all I remember. I must have nodded off.
And how long do you sleep through the night?
I sleep all night now until my children wake up, usually my son.
What time does your 1-year-old wake up?
She sleeps all night. She's the good sleeper in the family.
And how about your son?
He usually climbs into our bed around 5 a.m. and then we'll sleep till 6 or 7.
Do you know when you have little ones, 5 a.m. counts?
Yeah, it's
It
really
counts.
good sleep. Yeah.
And it's a lovely, cuddly time. What is your day like now that you're sleeping quickly, calmly, soundly, and deeply all through the night?
I have a lot more energy, and I'm calmer. I'm able to respect my children's time and let them go through their day as they want to without me rushing or you know, having a short temper. So everyone is definitely benefiting from it.
How about your marriage?
Oh, good.
All right.
Marriage is always good.
Marriage is always good, but it helps you with your
yeah,
patience.
Yeah, and I think he's happy to see that I can fall asleep because he hits the pillow and he's out, you know. But I'm always there.
You know,
thinking
they
and
always
thinking.
say the mom always has one ear towards the nursery.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. But you mentioned something else, that you have some other byproducts that were unexpected from your hypnotherapy for insomnia. What else is happening that is a positive benefit from your hypnotherapy?
I'm able to prioritize my time better and respect myself a lot more, respect my right to sleeping, which was my affirmation, is I respect my sleep, because I really wasn't. I respect everyone else's sleep, naps, you know, their nutrition, but I wasn't helping myself as much as I should have been, and I need to be looking after myself in order to look after everybody else.
Absolutely. So what would you say to someone who has all of the options in the world and is struggling with insomnia about choosing hypnotherapy?
It's very easy, and you have a part in it. It's not just someone else writing you a prescription or, trying to delve into deeper problems, but it's very practical and instantaneous that night. I was able to help myself,
Yes.
which is nice.
Yes. Can you give us some affirmations that either you or other people have created to help them sleep through the night?
Sure. A very, very obvious one is I sleep deeply, safely, and soundly throughout the night, each and every night. I fall asleep within 5 minutes of my head hitting the pillow. And my personal favorite, God has taken care of everything that I have not.
So you can sleep. That's beautiful. Do you use any other self-hypnosis to go to bed, or just the affirmations?
I think that my whole bedtime ritual is a part of self-hypnosis now. Getting in that state of knowing I have things to do, that's all I'm going to do. It's what's leading up to me going to sleep. It's kind of like my before thought now. Happens before I get into bed. So when I get into bed, I just can go to sleep. No more thinking.
Yeah, and now that you know about hypnotherapy for sleep, I have to ask this question of everyone who's seen a hypnotherapist, every young mother. Do you use any of the techniques that you learned to help your children sleep through the night?
I'm sure that I will. I just began, but I'm sure that I will. I've thought about using guided meditations, on the CD player in my son's room to help him go to sleep. He can listen to,
Yes.
So I've definitely started thinking in that way.
I like it because it's, our children are so suggestible to us. And once we learn it, and once we do it ourselves, we become the best teachers.
Yeah.
Well, Ty, I have to tell you something. I learned something from you here today. Well, you and Erin. Because, I like the idea. Sure, it's fabulous to fall asleep listening to my voice. But how wonderful and empowering to have our clients use idiomotor responses for their affirmations, to be able for our clients to put themselves to sleep independently. Our voice goes with them, but in a different way. A little bit more indirectly than directly. We need to take a short break, but I want to thank my guest, Ty Johnston. Now, I know that everyone's going to want to find out about how to teach our clients how to discover their own power with self-hypnosis, affirmations for every goal they want to do. And you can reach Ty Johnston on hmigrads.com. I also want to thank Erin for coming in and sharing her story, and wish you the very best luck with those two beautiful children, and congratulations with this in everything that you pursue. But I'd like everyone to please stay tuned, because after the short break, we're going to meet another hypnotherapist who's going to come in with her client, and we're going to learn more about how people are using hypnosis today. Stay tuned.
I'm able to sleep. My children are a little bit older, but now I have become the problem, which is interfering with my sleep, my mind, my thoughts at night. I'd heard a lot about hypnotherapy. I've had a few friends who have gone through it with Ty, and I'd heard positive things about it, that it's very non-invasive, very personal, it can be spiritual, so I thought that I would try it out.
So I love it. So you knew about hypnotherapy, and I like it when it comes with a personal recommendation.
Yes.
So your friends had the subconscious mind. And how hypnosis is being used today to help people achieve success, happiness, and prosperity. It is my pleasure to introduce my two very special guests. Well, my first guest is Ty Johnston. Now, Ty is a graduate of HMI College of Hypnotherapy. She is also the creator of Dance Therapy, which is a combination of dance and hypnotherapy, which she teaches at Cirque du Soleil in Los Angeles, California. And she has with her her very special, gone to her, had gotten good results, and you decide you wanted to go too. So, it's really interesting because I have 3 children. And as soon as they started to sleep, I stopped.
Yeah.
I was no longer up every 2 hours to feed somebody, and yet my mind was racing too. Do you remember at all what was on your mind during those times when they were sleeping but you were not?
Yeah, well, it's often just that,
Welcome to Hypnosis Today, the nation's first web TV talk show that explores the fascinating world of hypnotherapy. My name is Lisa Mackenberg, and I'll be your host, covering a wide variety of subjects to help you understand the power of the client, whose name is Erin. Erin is a young mother of 2, but she came in to visit Ty for insomnia. Please help me welcome my guests. Now, Erin, I'm going to start with you. You know, insomnia can have all kinds of different causes. Why did you come to see a hypnotherapist of all the different specialties that you could pursue?
I'd come to the point where